So I mean, just to kind of, I think that it's important, and I'm sure I'll bounce all over the place here, but part of this budget does encompass $1 million request from the mayor and the town council. And with the other assumptions, just the CTA concessions of $594, that's included in here, that's an unknown. And once again, as was spoken to by Dr. Thornton, there is the revenue number based on the meals tax, which may or may not be an issue if they find another revenue source, but certainly that's another significant unknown, even if you were to not look at the fact that we have level funded healthcare from FY12, basically, about 48,000 more, but hedging that because we have a designated fund balance of 450. But if you just went on those three, you can see that that's a pretty big number. So that's the environment that we are working under. And so I balance that though with the fact that we can't go backwards. And so it is. We need every piece of we need every one of these. It's not a question of if we don't get a CTA concession of $594,000, and we have to take that from a surplus amount. That's really not a good idea, and certainly not something we can sustain. We're looking at deficits projected out in 14, 15 of pretty sizable numbers as well. So this is not something that over the long haul we're in a really solid place. With that being said, there were a few of us that attended a conference this weekend, and it actually was an assistant professor from Bryant University, who actually is a Cumberland resident, who went over the economic outlook, Rhode Island's bumpy road to recovery, and certainly made a case of how important education is to the town, and talked about why Rhode Island is lagging behind other states and why that's certainly a competitive disadvantage for us. And so, I know it's a big ask, the $1 million, and it's a big ask from the CTA for $594, but we have to do better. And not that I want to be Mr. Negative, but we just need to do better inside this budget, and we certainly would like to have those. But we're not really. We don't really have an opportunity. We have some risk already built in here, and to make some more without knowing exactly what's going to happen just wouldn't be prudent at this time. I know that's painful to certain segments of the department, but I tell you too, we really. I hopped on that question last public hearing. And when it all is over, what this department is responsible for is you graduate from 12th grade, you graduate from high school with 12th grade credentials, with 12th grade skills. Because, by this report, Rhode Island has a very high population of people who just graduated from high school or didn't graduate from high school. It's a big number. And it bothers me to think that even some of those who are graduating from high school don't have high school skills. And that was the point of the question, and we went back and forth on whether that was a 7th or 8th grade question, but it is clear that the major point is that we need to graduate our students with an ability to go to secondary education. It does not matter, it doesn't have to necessarily be an associate's degree or bachelor's degree. So there's a great need for skilled workers and companies looking to fill those positions, and we just, in Rhode Island, we're not producing those. And it just happened to be this gentleman's from Cumberland, but there's a statewide issue. We lag way behind in our neighbors, whether it be Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, and in Connecticut. So we got to do better. So that's my quandary here, is that, yeah, we have a big ask, and we're going to ask Councilor Dwyer and the rest of his colleagues for that, but we need to earn that. We need to go there and show why, and show what we're doing
we're going to make it better. I know it's hard, I know that we're working with less, but we still have to do it, I still believe we can do it. So, just to keep that in perspective, I've wrestled with this for the last few days, and certainly we had some discussions with the CTA, and based on just on the reality of the numbers, we need to make it work, and when we make it, and by making it work, we got to come up with better numbers. And it doesn't necessarily have to be kneecap, but we got to do a better job of ultimately preparing our students so when they finish 12th grade, they're at 12th grade level and not less. That's my spiel. So, right now, anybody